Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Friday, May 9th, and it is time for The Ghost Files. I'm your host, Vincent DiSanti, and you are on the Womp Stomp Films YouTube channel. If you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to this channel, definitely check out everything else that we have to offer below. Tonight is a very special episode of The Ghost Files. We're going to be taking a look at so much coming up on the Womp Stomp Films docket of slate of projects coming up. We got Ghosts in the Fog stuff to show you. We got box set stuff to show you. We have Crystal Lake news to share. And in the middle of doing everything else today, we got a huge update from the Jason universe. The Jason universe. Anyway, I wish I had an echo for that. But anyway, the Jason universe had a huge unveiling today. We're going to take a look at that and the article that came along with it, what that means. And then to my backers who were with me last week, not my backers, but my viewers, my watchers, everybody who's out there watching this who was with me last week, we forgot to watch the first 3 minutes of Ghost in the Fog, the animated Friday the 13th fan film that we are doing and launching on Indiegogo next Tuesday. If you haven't already, you should be signing up for the notification for when it goes live on Tuesday, May 13th. You can do that at the link that is in this the description of this video. We're definitely going to get to a lot of stuff there. I have so many things to show you guys tonight. We're going to look at the storyboard animatic. We're going to look at some of the behind the scenes concept work of what will look like from there. It's going to be really, really cool. And kind of go from that. Let's check out the chat. Let's see who's hanging out. Let's also get that in there. Let's get my favorite. Nope, we already got that. Let's switch this around. Bing, bing, bing. Let's see who's here. Creator Films was here, or Crafter Films was here earlier today saying, hey, Ben, Ghost Files will show us the 3-minute Ghost in the Fog sneak preview. Yes, we are doing that tonight. Oh, sorry, I had a cookie before I came on tonight, and now I'm like choking to death live on YouTube. Let's see, Joss was coming in and saying yes, he's excited. Steve DMV is, hey, 4 weeks in a row. I think that this is definitely a record for Ghost Files. Telling you, there's like this one crumb just killing me right now. But 4 straight weeks. If I don't die on this one tonight, maybe we'll do a 5th one. Yeah, let's see. I mean, it's we got the crowdfunding campaigns coming up. This is going to be a great way to stay in touch with everybody. We did this the last time we had a crowdfunding campaign. It was a great way to stay in touch and, keep raising funds and all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to probably doing this for the next few weeks, at least next few weeks, at least. Sam, hey, Knight's here. Happy 45th anniversary to the OG Friday the 13th, the one that started it all. Yes, we will get to that as well later tonight. It is the 45th anniversary of the release of the very first Friday the 13th. Lamontre's in the chat tonight. Cheesy Corn Pops on the chat tonight. Let's see. Tyler Adams is here. Happy 45th to the OG. In addition to that, one of my all-time favorite films, The Fifth Element, came out on this day in 1997. Also, one of my favorite films, Leeloo Dallas Multipass. Love Fifth Element. Classic. Bruce Willis classic. Let's see. Happy Womp Stomp Friday. Alley Girl's here. Mitch the Ripper's here. Dominic St. Clair's here. Dominic was, I think we chat a little bit this. Caleb Voorhees is here. Who else is in the chat? We have the Crawling Chaos. Salsa Shark. Man goes into salsa. Sharks and salsa. Our shark. Great. Great pull. Ethan Bullman's here. So many. So before we dive into some stuff, there's definitely a jug of water that I'm going to sip on because I'm going to end up dying on this friggin' show tonight. Vincent, would you work together with Damien Leone on a Friday the 13th film? Of course, I clicked onto that one by random accident. You know what? I would. If they said, Vin, it's either work with Damien or never work on a Friday the 13th ever, I'd work with Damien. We'd figure it out. I think it would be a decent pair. I think that would work out. So yeah, I'd do it. Let's see what else we got going. Super green. Yeah, we're going with a super green look right now. It's what I got on hand. We're going to continue to build out this this channel over time, but right now all the money's going into projects. We've been shipping out the Never Hike Alone 2 Blu-rays. They're still kind of moving out. Actually have a big package over there that I need to drop off tomorrow. and doing all that fun stuff. Let's see. So tonight on the show, we're going to jump into a bunch of stuff. I got to get into my media assets. So I'm not going to be able to see your comments right away. If you have a comment and you have a question or something that I'm going to bring up during one of the sections tonight, please use Super Chat. It will be the only way that I will definitely be able to see that you asked a question. I may or may not catch other questions in the chat. You can roll the dice and see if I get it. But if you ask something in the middle of me explaining some off on some rant, you're definitely going to have to wait your turn or ask again or do a Super Chat and I'll see it right away because it stars it for me. And then it makes it easy to find and we can talk about it and we'll dive into the subject and talk about it even further. No matter what the subject is, we can jump into it at a certain point during the show. But I'm going to change my layout a little bit. So before we get started, obviously, Never Hike in the Snow, Never Hike Alone, Ghost in the Fog is launching on Tuesday. If you want to be notified, there's a link in the description of this video, but if you're watching on TV or if you're watching on a computer screen right now, you can use this QR code. It will take you to the page. You just type in your email address and then you'll get an email notification when it goes live and you'll be able to go secure your copy of your Never Hike Alone box set or pick up a t-shirt or one of the other things that we have kind of going on for the campaign and stuff like that. So with that little spiel out of the way, let's talk about some upcoming appearances. As a reminder, Pottsville Film Festival, Friday, May 30th at 9:15, Never Hike Alone 2 is screening. So if you are in the area of Pottsville, Pennsylvania, the Yingling Mansion, Yingling was like the official beer sponsor, unofficial beer sponsor of the only band tour I ever went on. So this is kind of cool to be at the Yingling Mansion. I'm really interested in seeing this. A good buddy of mine, DJ Higgins from that I knew from high school, is one of the people who runs this film festival. So I'm looking forward to going out there. I should be able to go out there and be there all 3 days. I believe it's, May 30th through June 1st. So if you're in that area, I'm going to be hanging out. If you got to film the festival, definitely come say hello. Another reminder that Horror Night on June 13th of this year in Wolfsburg, Germany at the Delphine Theater. Never Hike Alone 2 will be playing on Friday night with Terrifier, and as well as Demon, The Hills Have Eyes, on a 2-night event too. So they have Saturday the 14th, which has Wrong Turn, Barbarian, 1978, a bunch of other, awesome films. One of our great contributors, the guy who does all of our German subtitles, Ash, is one of the event promoters of this. As this event gets closer, we'll talk more about it. But it's really cool. Never Hike Alone playing in Germany with German subtitles. Really excited about that. In July, we're going to have Monster Expo once again in the Sheraton Nashua, Saturday, July 26th and Sunday, July 27th, Kane Hodder, Miko Hughes, Brett Wagner, Mark Price. They're actually adding even more names, which is really, really rad. So definitely check that out. I don't have the link, I believe, in the description of this, but if you search Monster Expo, you'll definitely find it. So we definitely want to get in and spend most of our time on Ghost in the Fog tonight, but we do want to check in because there have been a couple of small updates in the world of actual Friday the 13th, in the world of everyone's favorite, Crystal Lake. Not much, but it is worth noting that showrunner Brad Caleb Kane took this behind the scenes photo. Well, I guess behind the scenes photo. We took this photo for his Instagram with the caption, I guess that was me, but I don't know. Oh, he wasn't a very good swimmer. And that's my caption. They should have been watching him. So anyway, they're down there and they're doing work on this show. This show is definitely moving forward. There seems to be a lot of progress. If you're not following Brad, you can see right there, Brad Caleb Kane. Let's just do this if you can't read nothing. There it is right there on Instagram. If you want, the first person who's going to post anything about the show, it's probably going to come from him since he's the showrunner. So if you're a Friday the 13th fan, you should probably be following Brad. You'll get all the updates as we get it. I'll obviously bring it here. We'll talk about it. But yeah, no, I mean, it looks like that's Camp Nobi Bosco's lake. That looks like the original Camp Crystal Lake. So it's really cool to sort of slowly but surely they're confirming that they are going back to the original place. So I'm really excited about that. And tonight, that's all I was really gonna bring up about the show tonight, just to say, hey, check it out. It looks like they are really getting close to confirming that they're doing it Nobly Bosco. And then our friends and neighbors at the Jason Universe showed up, and they unveiled a new logo on the 45th anniversary of Friday the 13th. And I gotta say, I mean, just beautiful work here. They didn't change an absolute thing about the mask or the logo or anything of what was before, or anything that fans complained about. But what they did do is they added a nice texture. They had a texture artist come in and throw some chevrons on there to, kind of give it a look. They gave it, I think they called this a machete finish on the Jason Universe thing. They had Harry Manfredini come in and do a new score for a little teaser that we're going to pull up in a little bit. But I will say this, there is actually a good design hidden with all of this, and it's actually this. That's actually pretty cool. Happy 45th anniversary to Friday the 13th. Thank you for spawning what is, the thing that is the lifeblood behind my film career. If it wasn't for Friday the 13th, I don't know that I would have got into film as much as I did. And I'm very grateful that Sean Cunningham took $700,000 and ran off to some cabins in the woods and shot this movie that has turned into a 12 film franchise and has filled our lives with all sorts of joy and connection and debate. And, it's the reason why, a lot of us are fans of horror. I actually do like this poster. I think this is kind of cool. I hope that this is around when they do the Crystal Lake Nightmares convention. I'd love to get a poster that looked like that, start having people sign it. Obviously, I think as fans, we just need to be honest with them as much as possible and be like, this logo is just not doing it. That I don't know what's going on here. Like, I don't know what their aim is, but there is some hope. Behind everybody just taking a first look at this thing and making fun of it, there is a little bit of something. And so let me get into this mode. And so we're sharing screen right here. This is an article from Bloody Disgusting. It's written by the journalist Megan Navarro, who's I believe they're one of their lead editors. And fantastic journalist. Anyway, here's basically what it says. It's a big day for Friday the 13th fans. Today marks the 45th anniversary of writer Victor Miller and director Sean S. Cunningham's 1980 slasher hit arriving in theaters. Horror Inc. is celebrating accordingly with a new Jason Universe logo honoring the franchise's legacy, which we can exclusively unveil. The 45th anniversary Jason Universe logo makes its debut below, along with a new motion logo featuring a new Jason mask and original audio composed exclusively for this video by Harry Manfredini, composer of the majority of the Friday the 13th movies and the Friday the 13th game. I love how it has to say composer of the majority, except for that motherfucker Fred Mullen. Anyway, alongside the new Jason Voorhees mask, the logo text sports an appropriate metal machete finish. Okay. What is Jason Universe? The short answer is that it's a multi-platform expansion first announced a year ago as the new era from the original owners of the Friday the 13th franchise, with signs of the dormant franchise springing back to life, including forward movement on the prequel series Crystal Lake. Expect big plans in the work from Horror Inc.'s Jason Universe. Now, there are a series of quotes here from the three main individuals who are really at the center cog of Friday the 13th now. So a lot of people complain about Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham, but Victor and Sean are really at the outskirts, and it's these three gentlemen who I'm about to bring up right now who are basically in charge of the rights. They're the ones who are stewarding the ship right now from a not maybe creative to a certain point, but from the bean counter, if everybody's watching the studio, but from the bean counter, rights holder perspective, these are the people who are in charge of what's going on. So this is Robert Barsimian. This is sort of like it's Horror Inc. From Barsimian, we want to ensure that as we move forward, we respect the rich history of Jason while also embracing future opportunities to authentically engage with new and loyal fans. The latest iteration of the mask and logo reflect the fine balance of honoring the past while also bringing our iconic character into the future, says Robert Barsimian, president of Horror Inc. Barsimian is also executive producers of Crystal Lake, another sign that exciting things are ahead for Horror Inc. From vice president of Horror Inc., Robbie Barsimian, Jason is one of horror's definitive villains, and we've been hard at work to bring him back into the spotlight with our latest iteration. Jason's fans are incredibly dedicated, and we're stoked to show them everything we have in store, kicking off with the 45th anniversary across all mediums. Okay, we'll get into that in a little bit. The final quote here. As we mark the 45th anniversary of Friday the 13th franchise, it's truly exciting to reawaken the legacy of Jason Voorhees with Horror Inc. in a way that feels both fresh and true to the character, says Mark Toberoff on behalf of Friday the 13th LLC. That's Victor Miller's company. This is a milestone moment for us and Horror Inc., and we're both proud to give fans a thrilling new chapter worthy of Jason's enduring legend. And then you can sign up to receive updates at the Jason Universe website, which we do not have a link below, but I do suggest that you do. I do receive the updates. Oh, and then here is our thing. So I'm not going to play this because music, I'm going to play it, but wait, I'm not going to play Manfredini's music because they're going to sue me. But we're going to play this real quick, just this little boo, boo, boo. So this is the reveal of the whole new logo. I don't know how long they worked on this, but guys, Rob, Robbie, Robert, Rob, Mark, Rob, Robbie, the shape of this mask from every fan, I'm telling you right now, dog shit. Just absolute a dog dragging its ass across the lawn, a brown, burnt lawn. This mask. That's what fans think of this mask. And I'm not doing that to be a dick. I'm just saying that this does not look good. Maybe we haven't seen it on a Jason yet. Maybe we will all be, but this is like Sonic the Hedgehog level. Like last week, I was giving Predator a pass, but I don't know about this. I really don't know about this. And I don't think that fans are super impressed so much with what we've seen so far, judging by the reaction that a lot of people that you see. I mean, it's a lot of negativity, and obviously the internet is filled with negativity. I'm not being too positive about this right now because I'm just not in love with this character. I'm not floored yet. I'm not wowed. And I'm not saying that everything we do at Womp Stomp Films has knocked everybody off their feet, but I would say that there is a certain, I've had a certain experience over the last 8 years of what makes fans excited and what doesn't get fans excited. And right now, I'm not sure this is doing anything for fans because it's so confusing to understand where all of these things are going to be activated, but yet we haven't seen anything for a year. But to your credit, this year is the 45th year. Why rush everything in the 44th year to use a big, significant year to help amplify the marketing? I get that. We've all had to wait an extra year for them to sort of have a bigger swing at this now that, this year is June 13th, Jason's birthday, a perfect opportunity for something to happen with the Jason universe. Next year, there are 3 Friday the 13th. And I can tell you this, as the owner and operator of Womp Stomp Films, who has been basically releasing something on Friday the 13th every day since 2015, that it's just something that should be in the conscience of everyone at Jason Universe and everyone on the Crystal Lake show and everyone at Friday the 13th Inc. and all these different companies that are all working on Friday the 13th right now, from all the fans to you. It's, let's start coming up with stuff. I think that, you put some effort into this, congratulations. You had somebody put some texture on the mask, do some 3D work. You had a couple of nice little camera moves, but it's time to start seeing some stuff. I mean, it's really time to start delivering to fans. And I just think, I'm not saying that like I'm demanding it. I'm just saying it's going to be in your best interest if that starts to happen, because I just don't know how much fans can really get rah about this stuff. And my whole mission with this is to stay as positive as possible throughout this entire experience. I want to go through the entire first season of Crystal Lake with an open mind, see where it's going. But I'm fearful for the franchise right now because I see a lot of people are reacting to logos like this, to entire TV series, dedicated to Pamela, when everybody just sort of wants a Friday the 13th movie. And as someone who's been making fan films for the last 8 years for Friday the 13th, people are sort of getting sick of the Friday the 13th fan film as well. They want the legit thing. They want the thing that has millions of dollars invested into it and delivers on that level of entertainment value. And there was opportunities are out there. And, one thing that I'm going to say is I want to say thank you to everybody who, sort of threw me up or mentioned me in some of these things. We get tagged in a lot of stuff a lot, and people are like, well, just give it to Womp Stomp Films. I kind of want to start a trend. It can start here on Ghost Files Live. Let's start a trend. Hashtag we want Womp Stomp. Anytime you see an article about Crystal Lake, Jason Universe, they post something, Brad posts something, any of that, you want to see me involved with the show. You want to see one of the fans end up working with one of the shows. You could help me get there if enough people say you should really check this out, and maybe make them address it. Because one of the things that fans have come up to me for a long time and say, like, why aren't you working on the series? Why haven't they called you? Why haven't they brought you in? And although I have had conversations with Warner Brothers a long time ago about an idea that I pitched to animation, I really have never been approached by the franchise to do anything for the franchise. But I can't imagine that if I can do what I'm about to show you guys, after we start talking about this stuff, we're going to get into Womp Stompville. All right. And this is what we've put together for our fan film series. Can you imagine what I would do for the Jason universe? What I would do for Friday the 13th, how far I would go, how much I would dedicate my life just to making sure that as Friday the 13th grows, that I'm going to want to be there every step of the way to make sure that new fans are loving it, old fans are loving it, and that we're just looking at all the potential of what Jason has to offer in so many different ways. And I think that's one of the coolest things about Friday the 13th is that it's not one specific thing. Jason isn't one specific thing to one specific type of fan. He's several different things to several different types of fans. And it's understanding the differences and nuances of what fans like and what some fans don't, but being able to blend that all together, that takes time and study of understanding Friday the 13th as both a film series and a fan base. And they need someone in that office who understands both, because I'm sure everyone at both offices have all the intention to make the best thing that they can. But I can't say that even though they were tied to the series, were they really following it the entire way? And I think if they were, we need to see more of that. I think they need to be more out in front of the fans. I hope they're going to be at Crystal Lake Nightmares. I hope they're going to be engaging the fans sort of like the Akkads do for the Halloween franchise. I think it's time to give Friday the 13th fans a back and forth with the owners of the franchise, because we've been locked out for the last, who knows, basically since 2009. We've been wondering what's been going on in the scenes and all these changing of hands, and now it's finally settled into these people. I think we'd like to see who the owner and operators of Friday the 13th are, and that they engage with the fan base. And it's nice that we got this logo. It's nice that that they said those nice things, that they really care about the franchise. But I think it's one of those things where they got to put some boots on the ground, and I think we got to start seeing some material. So with that in mind, let's start watching some stuff. So we're not going to go into the film just yet. We're going to show off something that I want to give a shout out to some people. In fact, wait a second. Pause. Let's go check comments. Comments. We got any questions? What do you guys think of Crystal Lake? I'm going to see here. No new movie for 16 years. It's been 16 years. The powers that be are going to be so angry with me. I am probably about to get muted a lot by my followers. Great. Kane Hodder wouldn't wear it. Kane Hodder wouldn't wear it. Wouldn't he wear what? I missed that part. Oh, Kane Hodder wouldn't wear that mask. That's funny. Did he say that? Like I said, the Jason Universe mask looks like a Friday the 13th theme Easter egg. The shape seems wrong. Yeah, and I kind of see what they're doing. Looks like a $30 cheap Hoppy mask. Yep, I agree. Yeah, I just think that here's your, we should joke around and call them the mothers in Arizona, but here we're your focus group. I mean, here's a perfect focus group right here, and just look at all the comments that are kind of going around. But yeah, I just wanted to jump into some of these comments real quick. Okay, so we're going there, coming back. So this week, I want to say shout out to Tyler Adams for coming through huge. I asked Tyler to help me out. I wanted an example of what the box set for Never Hike Alone, the box set would look like. And so we had sort of a rough thing. I showed you guys last week. It was kind of laid out. Tyler, being an amazing CG and VFX artist, put together a nice little slideshow tonight for you guys to get a first look at what, once it's completed, what the box set is going to look like. So jumping into here, you can see my little jumping Jason, which tonight, I just want to say, tonight's thumbnail looked like a friggin' NASCAR. It was so funny with all that things. I looked at it later. I was like, wow, there's so much stuff plastered there. There's so much stuff to go over tonight. So here's a nice little look at the box. This is just the front facing, putting them in order. We got everything kind of lockstep. You're going to see the little faces up along the top line there. Pulling one out, see the nice black case. Look at this nice rigid box. It's all going to be that's the plan. I got that confirmed. As you start to kind of turn around here, you're pulling out. So one thing I'm thinking about doing is flip-flopping some of the images. So when you pull this out, you see another side. And when you look at the other side, you see all the front faces, that this is where you see it. So some of this might get turned around. So here's like a little front face. Again, you can see how the faces for each film sort of line up. The logos for each film line up really nice. And then obviously down here on the bottom with all the Womp Stomp logos. So as you see the back here, I'm thinking the other side, so as you pull these out, you're going to see the front of the cases. So I think I got to flip flop those. I think that might have made that mistake. Here's the other side. So here's the back. Now look at the spine. Isn't that cool? All this artwork done by Josh Beamish, applied by Tyler to these things, giving it the texture. Looking so very cool. Here's like the front area. So it should be sort of backwards in my head. So the way I have it now, that I should probably flip flop these. So when you put it in your shelf face out, you can pull it out and, the faces will be in the right way. But, we'll tweak that. We have time to kind of mess with it. Here are all the Blu-rays sort of pulled out of what they're going to look like when they all look there. Never Hike Alone, Never Hike Alone 2, Never Hike Alone the Final Cut, Never Hike Alone the Ghost Cut, and then Never Hike in the Snow. Same thing in the back. These are going to get worked on. So everything you're looking at right now is the current build. I'm still going to continue to progress these. Like the first Never Hike Alone, I'm going to go in there and get it back into something, but I may come up with a completely new, unique back. All those elements will mostly stay the same, but these may change. But this just gives you an idea of what that's going to look like. And at the end of the day, there it is. The Never Hike Alone box set with all 5 Blu-rays. It's going to look so nice next to your Shout Factory box set, I swear. Friday the 13th fans around the world, this is going to be something that, we're going to do this box set. We're going to print as many as you guys ask us to make. This is going to help us make Ghost in the Fog. This is going to be the little lifeblood behind it. And at the end of the day, Ghost in the Fog will be on the Final Cut Blu-ray. And it's going to be a grand old time. So let me jump into the comments right here, talk about some of this stuff. Got my 4-pack of movies last week. Can't believe it took 3 years, but I'm hoping for more. I know. I'm so sorry it took so long. It took so long to get those Blu-rays made, but we did it. That's it. Yeah, the mask is not optional. Yeah, that's hopefully not for this. Mask not too sleek. Still waiting for the Jason Voorhees MLB catcher's mask from something produced by those who don't get it. It's very, very bad. Oh, you guys are still talking about, I'm way back there. Whoops. Yeah, everybody look at this. Shut up and take my money. This stuff really does look great. I'll take 10. Ooh, that's nice. Way to go, Tyler. Tyler is the man. I agree. It's beautiful. Yeah, no, I mean, this is already looking good. Obviously, this is a mock-up, but this is, what we're going to be working on. So we're about halfway through. Now's is a better time than anybody who has left. I see the things kind of dropping. Time. We're going to get into the first kill sneak preview. I got a sense that I think I want to say that, hold on, I'm just going to stop sharing screen. There we go. I want to say that some of you have maybe seen this before, but what we're going to watch tonight is a storyboard animatic. It is the first 3 minutes of Never Hike Alone, Ghost in the Fog. Right now, it's not streaming on the channel. This is going to be launched on the channel when we launch the Indiegogo on Tuesday. So I'm going to put this the first 3 minutes as a teaser to help sort of get more people and make more people aware and keep things posting on, the YouTube to keep things fresh. It's going to be the first 3 minutes. It's going to take you up to the first kill. And that gives you an idea of, what this story is going to be. And then we're going to go over some stuff after we show this that shows you where the animatic is going to go from and what it's going to look like in the end. So with all that said, I hope you guys sit back and enjoy this. I got to run back to my media assets. I'm going to pull this off so it's not sitting on front. And without any further ado, here is the first 3 minutes of Ghost in the Fog storyboard animatic.
Are you sure you know where you're going? I can't see a thing.
Of course, babe. It's not much further. It's got to be around here somewhere. Oh, shit. This is not our campsite.
I knew we were lost.
We're not lost. We're, we're... Oh, look. There's a cabin over there.
Maybe someone can finally point us in the right direction.
I don't see any lights on. Do you think anyone is home?
Only one way to find out. So, come on.
So much for those directions.
Okay, then plan B. Let's just hang here until the fog clears.
You sure it's safe?
Yeah, I mean, it looks safe enough. Just a bunch of empty cabins. I mean, we should at least look around or something.
We should just go. Something about this place feels off, like we're being watched or something.
See, so maybe there is someone here.
Ah, that's not funny.
It's kind of funny.
You know what? I'm with Bree on this one. We should go.
Aw, Dom, come on, man. You too? Are you both serious? Where else are we gonna go right now? We can't see a thing out there.
Anywhere but here. Or else, we are all doomed.
You're both being a little dramatic. Let's just take a look inside and stay out of this storm. This doesn't look locked. Okay. Door's a little stuck. See? This place is harmless. Now, are you two just gonna stand in the rain, or are you gonna come inside before it...
Holy shit!
And there it is. There's the first 3 minutes of Ghost in the Fog. Thank you for watching. This will go live on the channel on Tuesday. You can watch it again and again as many times as you want. Shout out, that is myself playing Brandon in that scene. Luciana Fallhaber from Never Hike Alone 2 is playing, who was then Bree. And then that is Diego Valenzuela, who is playing Dom in that version of it. This is the current version of the animatic. The future version is going to actually include Chelsea, Rebecca, and Zoran Vojic from the Dead Meat YouTube channel, along with Diego still maintaining his role. We wanted to bring in our friends at Dead Meat, get them involved. So we're going to re-record all the voices. We're going to do it in a professional recording studio with our sound team, Icemen Studio in Los Angeles. We're going to bring everybody in. We're going to do one big group session. It's going to be really nice. And we're going to get this thing off and running with your support. We're going to be able to, in fact, when I say your support, let me get this thing up. With your support, we'll be able to get this project off the ground and get it finished. That was only the taste of the first kill. What we're promising to do here is push the limits of gore in animation and do something that we really haven't seen before. We haven't seen Jason Voorhees in animation. This is the first time he's been, he's been in Family Guy and he's made little appearances and they've drawn hockey masks in different places, but a story about Jason in Jason's world doing Jason things that are Jason centric. This short will deliver on all of that. Will deliver on the gore. It's very simple. It's very quick. It's a 10-minute short. We just want to show off what we can do. I'm very proud to be partnering with Mako Animation, Armas Productions, Cinescare Productions, as well as, Dead Meat is obviously throwing in some support to this, being in, the whole Dead Meat channel. James has been very supportive of it. I know that they're going to help us market and all of those different things. Everything that you guys help us do is also going to be super important by sharing the links and backing the campaigns. That's all going to be quite part. So what we've seen so far is you guys got to see that animatic. What that happens with that animatic is now that that's laid out, what that has done for us is the ability to do this. We didn't just do the animatic. We've been working on other things as well, which, for example, the cabins that they walk up to. Here is a base early design of something that we had concept-wise of where some of the funding from the previous campaigns went. Because that's one of the questions people have been asking is sort of like, well, it was part of other campaigns, so why isn't it completed? Well, Never Hike Alone 2 needed the funds because that was the primary reason for that campaign. We didn't want to bury a bunch of money into Ghost in the Fog and not be able to finish 2, right? So we finished 2. We got Fog as close as we could go. With the Final Cut campaign, this campaign is actually an extension of the Final Cut campaign. If you may remember on Kickstarter, I kind of screwed something up. People were not going to be allowed to back again. So when we released the box set and we released all this new stuff, people weren't going to be able to get access to it or change their backing choices to go to those things. So we launched this Indiegogo as a way to say, like, well, you know what? Let's just focus something primarily on Ghost in the Fog and give this production its crowdfund what it needs to get to the finish line. So with some of the cash that has been coming in and some of the, stuff that Armas Productions and Mako Animation have been doing, just doing volunteer work, this is some of the work of what they've been working on behind the scenes to show you that we're ready to go into animation. So this is a design for the cabins. This is actually a main cabin based on the actual cabin used in Never Hike in the Snow and the Disappear music video. And if you look at it pretty closely, we're going to take another look at it in a second. I think you're going to recognize it. We take these types of designs and we create things like this. So this is actually a 3D environment. We're going to be using 3D environments to basically save a ton of time. If we have a 3D environment, we no longer have to go and build all these different backgrounds. The backgrounds are going to be there, and then we can paint over them, and we can add different textures over them and add elements over them, putting our 2D designs in the foreground or the background or wherever we need to do to make them fit into the space, and it will feel like, in the end, a 2D space. This is just one of the cabins. This is another great shot they sort of put together of sort of the type of depth and sort of cinematic view that we can create in this animated world, which is something I'm really excited about. It's not just flat proscenium. And so here is the cabin, which, I mean, does that not look like the cabin from Never Hike in the Snow and Disappear? This cabin actually no longer exists in real life. It was leveled. So we're keeping it alive in CG. And I think it's kind of cool that we were able to do that I'm really, really happy. I believe Ruby built most of this stuff, if not some of the other artists. This is another shot of another cabin, so some different environments. So these are the actual environments that are built. Our camp has been built. It's ready to be shot in. Now we have to go and take care of the animation. Who we're going to be animating? Well, let's take a little closer look at the characters. Here's a look at our lead characters. We have Brandon, Lana, and Dom. The cool thing about Brandon and Lana is that they were redesigns of executive producers who backed the project. So Brandon Covington is one producer who, during the Never Hike Alone 2 campaign, backed Ghost in the Fog. We changed, I can't remember the character's original name now, but now it's Brandon because it looks just like Brandon. One of the things about Brandon is he always had an Orioles cap on every time we talk. So we threw a baseball cap on the character, and he is the character that gets yeeted in that first scene. So Brandon is the first to die. He was the first backer to back the project and do there, and chose that character and ended up becoming our first main victim and will be the poster boy for the victim of this entire marketing campaign. Lana was added during the last campaign, so you'll see some different in some of the artwork. You'll see that Lana looks a little bit different because it's still the old Brie character artwork, but this is Lana. Her partner Trent purchased an executive producer perk and asked that she be made the lead final girl. And so, I guess I'm kind of giving that away. We see what happens to Dom sort of in the teaser. And we hear her calling off screen. So I guess you guys can put 1 and 2 together to say that deductive reasoning says that she's the last one to survive. But she will be played by Chelsea Rebecca. Brandon will be played by Zoran Vojic, and Dom will be played by Diego Valenzuela. And Dom here in the back is the final design that hasn't been touched. So this is a character that will be available, in the last executive producer perk available will be to redesign Dom to whatever you look. You're going to have the voice of a very burly Spanish man. And we may, do some things with your likeness. Like, I don't know if you guys ever saw the people who did the Friday the 13th video game. But like Brandon LaChapa and Adam, like, they don't look like that in real life. So if you want to be buff Dom, we will make Dom's face resemble your face, and you get to be, super jacked, yoked Jason Momoa Dom over here. And then obviously I know you guys want to see this one, but here's a better look at Ghost Jason. And I would say, on level of character design, the characters you see here, these are still the lineup sketches. They haven't been rendered yet. This is closer to something because we wanted to spend a little bit more time on Jason, obviously. But here's our rendered Ghost Jason 2D animated look. As you can see, it's something that feels like it would step right out of Batman animated, comics, which is sort of what we wanted to go with. I kind of wanted that animated series Saturday, drama noir type feel to it. Obviously, we're doing the black and white with the Sin City. You can see the yellow axe. In future episodes, we'll go over some of the weapons and things that we have that are rendered and made. We can look at some of those. But this is, what we've been working on. This is it's really starting to come together, and this is our, this is such a huge opportunity for us to push the boundaries of fan films, push the boundaries of our independent company, to say that if we can do, Ghost in the Fog, we can get this production done. What's to say that like Ghost Chicken and other animated films like The Last Astronaut and other things that I have on my slate that I really wanted to make in my career, why do we need to go the avenue of the studios? I can just turn to the fans and we can animate it ourselves. And so that's going to be a really, really cool thing. So we're about 45 minutes in. I've been doing this 4 weeks in a row. I feel like we've been kind of an hour 45. It's been going back and forth. We went over a lot tonight. But it's Friday night. It's only 8:45 out here. I got 15 more minutes. If you guys have questions, why don't you guys jump and start asking them now? If you asked a question before and I didn't answer it, now would be a good time to ask. I'm going to pick a good, let's pick a good asset to kind of hang out on. Let's do this, just because we got to keep supporting the franchise, right? We're going to keep supporting the Indiegogo. So make sure you sign up and get notified. I wonder how hard it would be to add some gouges and scuff marks in Jason's mask. Yes, I understand exactly what you're saying. I I do want to do that. I will say this is an earlier version. This is a prequel. So Jason is a little bit more put together and not as pulled apart as he is when we see him the other night at Never Hike Alone things. The other thing about this is with animation, every time you add a little speck or fleck or thing to the mask, it's something that has to travel and move with it. Something that has to be drawn every single time. So although it would be nice to add more detail, sometimes adding more detail bogs down the overall, the ability, the speed of render, the speed of animation, all of these different things really kind of play into those factors. So we would love to do like higher res, like crazier designs, like really start to push the look. We have to find something that fits our budget. And that's the crux of independent animation, is that like in the independent anything, is that like we really sort of have big visions, but we got to fit them in these kind of small box. So I hear you. I think that you can see a little bit of the discoloration here. We're working on some stuff, but there may be something to the texture that we can do. Maybe we'll call the Jason Universe guy, have him throw some texture on this. And we'll talk about it. I mean, that's the thing. Over the next few months, as this gets made, fans, you're going along for the ride. If you back the campaign, you're going to get regular updates because we update at least once a month. As Mako makes progress and we get shots, we're able to string together sequences. Guess what? At some point, you're going to get a sneak preview of that in animation, and it's going to be proprietary to people who back the campaign. Eventually, this will get released to the public, but until that happens, the only way to get a front row seat is to join this Indiegogo. And you can use where is it? There it is. You can use that link to get there and get recommended. It goes live on Tuesday, March 13th. We are going to change the world of Friday the 13th and hopefully add it for the better. Hashtag we want Womp Stomp for everything that we do from now on. And hopefully between those two things, this campaign, everything going on, and everything that we're going to release over the next year, maybe we'll kick up some dust and we'll finally get a chance to work on the official franchise. But until then, we have you guys and we have each other. The fans are taking care of this. Eventually, other stuff will come. But in the meantime, let's continue making cool things, right? Oh, what happened here? Rest in peace, Priscilla Pointer from Elm Street 3 Dreamwalkers. Oh, that's too bad. Look at this guy. Hey, guys, I'm really late. How's everybody doing? We're doing just fine, Greg. You missed everything. But if you rewind the episode, you'll be able to watch the 3 minutes that we played last week and have yourself a good old time. I think you were probably there for the first time that we played it, though. Yeah, guys, is there any, and I mean, we're just going to open it up for questions right now. I really don't have, I basically said all I've had to say for this week, that's for sure. But it was exciting to put this week's episode to get there because there's a lot to talk about. And again, shout out to Tyler for putting together the 3D box set. I now have some work over the weekend and some stuff that I can use in the Kickstarter video or the Indiegogo video that I got to work on this weekend, which, that's a cool thing that I could mention. We shot the Indiegogo video yesterday. I'm going to be downloading the footage hopefully tomorrow. Working and cutting it this weekend. I was able to film a very short Ghost Files pre-record episode 2, and maybe some stuff to help improve this channel as well, like an introduction and other things like that. So there are some changes coming to the Ghost Files pretty soon. Hopefully I'll be able to kick it in. It was I gotta say shout out to Steven Schloss for helping me out and shoot this video. I wouldn't have been able to do it without him. I can't wait for you guys to see it on Tuesday when it releases. So literally shot it yesterday, cutting it this weekend. It will be the face of the campaign on Tuesday when the campaign goes live on Tuesday. So that's going to be a fun weekend and a couple of days for me. What else are people asking about? I'll get the hashtag going on Twitter. I know you will. I cannot spell either. Will there be a VHS version of the box set? Right now, I cannot commit to that because I don't have a vendor who can handle it. That's just the God honest truth. Although I do have up here on my wall a contact information for a local, actually father and daughter team that does VHS duplication. They do things for their Indiegogo, and I approached them at the New Bedford Film Festival. I was like, have you ever done like 100 VHS tapes before? And they looked at me and they said, maybe. They do really great work. And I may be turning to them to help us do some of this work. So I will work on this, Ethan. I feel you. A VHS box, that would be dope. So let's see what we can do. I think if we do make one, there's only going to be a few. And the problem with that is it's going to get really expensive to build those boxes. So we'll have to figure something out. We'll figure something out. But in the meantime, I think that's all for me this week. It has been a very long week for me. I've been getting a lot of things ready. Lots of cool updates on the professional front. Professional projects are moving forward. I got a really cool opportunity that came up this week. I'm not going to jinx it, but something cool came up. And no problemos moving forward. I actually just got off the phone with Justin Phillips, the lead actor of that, before this, talking about some cool story updates. I have to check in with Casey Dwayne Alexander because we have to start talking about some producing things. Oh, I guess I didn't create a no problemo slide this week. Ding, I'm a ding dong. Oh, no problemo slide this week. So I guess I won't be promoting no problemo. But if you want to know more about no problemo, the project I've been pitching for the last few weeks, please hit me up at wompstompfilms@gmail.com. We're looking for investors and backers to help us get that film project off the ground. It's something I want to film here in Southern New England, in my hometown of New Bedford, Massachusetts. We got a really cool location. We got a really cool story, a really good cast and crew. So you definitely do, if you can, help me out. Just hit me up at right here. What's this? I'm just extremely happy that you are making this happen. The Friday the 13th franchise has been almost forgotten about, and I'm appreciative that you guys have brought us Jason fans together. And that's exactly why hashtag we want Womp Stomp. I mean, it's very simple. I mean, I don't think I'm asking for the moon here. I feel like I have done pretty decent work for this franchise, putting myself out there. And obviously, listen, I'm not going to pretend that by attaching the Never Hike Alone films and doing them as Friday the 13th films and all that stuff, obviously that made them more popular. I did it because I loved Jason. And I think that that's the one thing that is the theme of everything that I do here is that I just love Friday the 13th. I've always wanted to work for the Friday the 13th franchise. I've been busting my ass for years trying to get the franchise to notice. And I feel like the more I push the fans to kind of spread the word, because I see you out there doing it already, let's unify and let's do it. Let's get the we want Womp Stomp hashtag going. Great stream. Really tell your mom happy Mother's Day. Of course. Yeah. Mother's Day is coming up. Hey, Mother's Day is coming up. So we definitely gotta say shout out to the moms. I'm picking Friday the 13th, August 2027 for the theatrical release of the 13th Friday the 13th film. That would be pretty cool. It'd be even cooler if I was directing it. We want Womp Stomp. I agree. Any news on the Halloween fan film? Yeah, let's talk about this Halloween fan film real quick. Little before I bounce out. I'm just going to leave that up for this part of it. Halloween fan film. I want to work with Hawthorne House Films, the people who did Prelude, bring back Cortland Gordon in, and then also work with my friend Steven Schloss. The three sort of groups, this Boston group, you could call it, the Michigan group, and the Midwest LA group. We're going to try, and we're all working on different stuff right now. Like Cortland's super busy. He's got a bunch of stuff he's doing with Bring Her Back and some projects that he's got going. I think you guys saw about it. I forgot to talk about it last week. But Halloween, you guys saw us posting about that on the Instagram and other social media platforms. Check out Halloween. They're looking for views on their teaser. It is, oh my God, I feel so bad. I should have brought that up tonight. But next week on Ghost Files, we will have a Halloween teaser. Maybe we'll have those guys on. Maybe we'll talk about the Halloween fan film a little bit. But it will be, I think I told you guys what the story would be. It'd be Halloween Never Ends. It would be a play on what I've been talking about for a while of the Halloween Ends version that I pitched. But it's completely different. It's the same, but different. It's the same idea. It's about a time after Michael has been gone, you know what I mean? And so the fear kind of comes back. It was something that we wanted to do with Prelude, but we didn't really get to intact, but I have such the the through line for me sort of kind of came together over the last week and a half. I jotted all that down, and I'm going to launch the writers. We're going to come up with something. I think it's going to end up being probably like a 30 to 40 minute like episode. And I think we might go to crowdfunding for it, because I think you put me in a Michael Myers costume and make a good poster and put the Womp Stomp brand behind it with me co-directing with Cortland. I think that that's going to do really, really well in the crowdfunding world, and we get everything we need to make it great. And I think it will legit rival some of the Halloween actual films again. I think we'll move and shake the world again with that one, but we'll see. Look at, wow, 5 straight weeks, a full month of the Ghost Files live. Yeah, I think we might be able to do that. I would love to play Jason. Oh my God, I would love to play Jason. I've been on top of my workouts too. Can you post the link to purchase the box set? Okay, so the link is in the description of this video, but it's not available yet. It will be next Tuesday, May 13th. If you go to the link, that is, let me do this. Boom. So use your phone to scan that QR code, go to that website, enter your email, and it will allow you to, it will notify you when it goes live. And then the box set is right at the top of the stream. What other great horror films would you like to try? We talked about this, me and Tyler Adams. I talked to Steven Sloss, the guy who you're talking to right now about that Project Gimme. He is down to do a Terminator fan film. I've been thinking about it. I think it would be one of the, like a really cool and simple thing to do. To a certain degree, I think it's worth sort of like whisking about. I think Terminator is kind of like, the more I watch it, it sort of is a slasher movie. So I'd like to see and play with that world. Obviously doing the Predator thing would be great. Jason Rising 2 is going to be coming back down the pipe. Dylan's New Nightmare 2 is going to be coming down the pipe. And so many other productions that I have over here. What other fan films do we have up our sleeves? Nothing too crazy at the moment. Obviously, there's just still stuff with Tom Matthews I want to get going. It's just a matter of, you got to have a million irons in the fire, and then one of the things hits. You know what I mean? Let's see. The campaign isn't up yet. You can't purchase it. Go to the link and enter your email for upstrates. Thank you. Maybe a Michael versus Jason film. That would be a short one. I think Jason would win pretty quick. Will the box sets be limited? No. These are, we're just going to let them sell. I mean, if you want them, oh, you know what? Somebody asked a good question. Is there going to be just a box? Yes, there is just a box. So if you have the 5 Blu-rays and you've already ordered the Kickstarter, the final cut, and you have the other 4 Blu-rays, you'll be able to fit those Blu-rays in. But the Ghost Cut is going to be a new release. Never Hike Alone and Never Hike in the Snow are going to be brand new discs. Never Hike Alone 2 might actually get a brand new disc as well. And obviously everything else. Like if you want a fresh batch of discs, all the same artwork, all the same cover art, all the same everything, you're going to want the box set. If you just want the box set and the sleeves, $30. It's a steal. You know what I mean? Like you've got, and that's how I feel about it. Like many of you you've done more than you ever needed to. And I thank you so much for backing the campaigns. And you've invested a lot in this company. I don't want to gouge anybody. We just need money to make this movie. But in the meantime, if you can't give a bunch and you just want to get that box, we wanted to make that available because you have been collecting them. We did want to just make something where you could just stick it in the box and call it a day. You'll have that opportunity. And then there'll always be opportunities down the line to get you guys stuff like, if you want 5 black cases, we may have extra black cases. If you want 5 slip covers, we may have 5 slip covers. We always work with backers. There's always secret perks. There's going to be discounts. So keep an eye out on updates on Indiegogo and Kickstarter because previous backers are going to get discounts for things. If you already got the Blu-ray collection in the Final Cut campaign, you're already getting the box set. You already got the box set. You're ready to go. You're grandfathered in. This is the same campaign. That's what I was going to do for that Kickstarter. I just couldn't do it. So we're doing it for the Indiegogo. We're going to make it real easy. We're going for broke, people. We're getting Ghost in the Fog made. We're going to make it happen. We're going to release it early next year. We're going to give everybody all year to work on Final Cut. Ghost in the Fog. And next year, we're going to be dropping so much Womp Stomp content. You're not going to know what to do with yourself. We're going to be doing monthly, bi-monthly releases of new projects. It's going to be awesome. And we're doing everything right now with your support. So I can't thank you enough for everything that you guys have done to support this channel and everything we do. And on that note, I should remind everybody that if you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and keep supporting the Womp Stomp brand, because the more you support us, the more projects we can make, the more films we can make, original fan films, music videos, podcasts. I'm going to start bringing on some amazing guests pretty soon. We're going to bring on Juan Rivera and Ruby Armas of Armas Productions and Mako Animation. We're going to take a look. We're going to take a 3D tour through Camp Crystal Lake. I'm going to bring on Mike from We Watched a Movie. We've been going back and forth for a while. In fact, I have to catch up with some conversations on with him, and I'm going to invite him on. We're going to bring on the team from Dead Meat. We're going to bring on more Friday the 13th alumni. This whole summer is going to be jam-packed with a bunch of fun stuff. So definitely, if you haven't subscribed and signed up for updates for the Womp Stomp Films YouTube channel, definitely do that now. We have finally hit our hour. Wow, we actually did up go an hour. How about that? And look at you, Marcy. Marcy coming in with a $45. Look at you. Here's another MVP. Big Smells is late. Top 5 directors of all time. It could also be influences on my work. Wow. It's tough. You know what I mean? I mean, it's very there's just so many different people, but if I could, I'll just talk about some directors. I'm not going to list them in order, any type of order, because I don't sort of believe in that. I just believe in, and I don't even think that these directors throughout time have always like hit on everything they did. They sort of just had moments where like certain peaks. So let's just talk about them. Let's see the first one, easy one out of the way, Spielberg. Spielberg is like the archetype for the modern director. His staging and blocking and cinematography and the way that he just made films feel magical. And I hear he's a pretty good guy too. And so definitely Spielberg. Would have loved to have met Wes Craven. That's one of the things that I'll always regret, is the fact that I never made it into the horror scene without ever getting to talk to Wes Craven. So Wes, it would be a super big influence. A big fan of my buddy Tom McLaughlin, director of Friday the 13th Part 6, my favorite Friday the 13th of all time, one of my favorite movies of all time. Ishiro Honda for creating the Godzilla franchise. I'm a big fan of Lee Winnell. I'm a big fan of David Bruckner. I'm a big fan of his name's on the tip of my tongue. He directed Blue Ruin, and Jeremy Saulnier. I'm a big fan of Gareth Edwards, who just released Havoc. I'm a big fan of obviously what's his face? He makes the Saw movies, and he did Aquaman. James Wan. A big fan of James Wan. Sam Raimi. You know, going back in time, Alfred Hitchcock, obviously Kubrick for, you know, what he brought to cinema. Fulci is a big one for me. Argento. What was it? Bill Lustig from Maniac, you know, New York Ripper. I don't know if he did New York Ripper. Did he do New York Ripper? But Bill Lustig is nasty. Obviously, you know, John Carpenter, you know, those are all just, you know, the greats. And everybody else in between. There's certain films like Tony Scott, what he brought to action movies. I'm a big I'm a big Ridley Scott fan, but there was someone else who I was just like enthralled by. I love Clint Eastwood. I love the movies that Clint Eastwood directs. I think I love the way he directs. He makes people only do one take. He's hilarious. Scorsese, obviously. I mean, they're all just, I think it's all people who are just masters of their crafts. Like, listen to Tarantino talk, listening to, you know, some of these, you know, listening to Sorkin talk about film and things like that. It's just, you know, you go down a list and just people talking passionately about filmmaking. There's always something to learn from everybody and everybody's different styles. So, but I would say that those are different people that, like, if you look at the stuff that I've watched over the years, those are the names you'll keep seeing pop up. So thank you for the question, Marcy. And thank you for the super chat. That is amazingly generous of you. Really do. Ben Affleck, definitely awesome. Great. He's a great director. Shane Black. Yep, Shane Black's got some stuff like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is awesome. Some of his later stuff in it is great. Like I wish I would have loved The Predator more. But yeah, Shane Black, one of the originators of one of the original writers on Predator, and then actor as well. So yeah, so answering that question, if nothing else is popping in, I will say I will bid my adieu to everybody. We'll have wonderful weekends. I will see you next week on the Ghost Files. We're going to be live on the Indiegogo campaign. Hopefully, we're going to be crossing some type of milestone, whether it be that 10% or beyond 20, 30, maybe 100%. Could we get there in the first week? We don't know, but we're going to be launching a whole bunch of new things. The first 3 minutes will be launching on Tuesday as well. What you guys watched tonight, thank you for watching that. Love your feedback. And there's also a brand new trailer for Never Hike Alone, the final cut coming, which we're working on right now. Tyler's helping me out with it. It's going to be so cool. It's going to get people so hyped for the final cut. I cannot wait. So definitely be on the lookout for that as well. Yeah. So with all that said, I hope everybody has a wonderful night and a wonderful weekend. And until next time, I will see you all on the trails.